Well, we are back for some Bleach Soul Resonance, and it's all quiet on the Western Front, gang. Like, I'm not gonna lie, for the last 2 days, I'd say I've been sort of like expecting something to come out of like the news cycle. We're sort of there. We're there. Like, as you sort of like peel through the events here, we're now completely done with this. We've long since completed this. We've got this in 1 day, so I guess that's when we'll be seeing the next go around. Again, this has essentially completed. The only reason I've told people before, I complete everything until it runs out of Jade. So that was the last bit of Jade, so there's not really much more to farm there. We're here. We finished this up. This is 1 day, or I guess a day and 23 hours away, and all of this stuff is old. So we are waiting. We are waiting. We've got 56 more days of this event to go, and 9 more days for until the first signs essentially of Yuryu. If we're just going by what we know in quotation marks as well, because like, what do we know? Yuryu might be coming out in 9 days, might be coming out in, 16 days, 14 days, 15 days, depending on if there's a delay or something. Like, we are sort of like in the weeds here, and what's been most interesting is just that we have got nothing. We don't know anything. Like, I guess I just wanted to talk about that as a greater concept, is like a few weeks out from this whole Bambi delay debacle, and what should be a time in which, Bleach Soul Resonance is assuaging the community, softening the sharper expectations, and sort of corralling us into a big warm hug of, hey, let's get some shit done. We just know nothing. We know nothing. And I would say that overall, I am a Bleach Soul Resonance glazer. I tend to be very understanding when things go wrong. Developing games is difficult, and with how courteous and kind and generous the Bleach Soul Resonance devs are with Jade and from a free-to-play perspective, I can put up with a lot. Because I think that at the end of the day, what is a mobile game like? What is a mobile game's greatest success? And that's like allowing you to acquire the characters. And in that way, Bleach Soul Resonance more than succeeds, right? That's like its greatest success, is that if you like Bleach, if you like the way the mechanics of this game work, then you can always play the next character, right? Which is cool. But there does need to come a counterbalance, because I can only speak positively. And in this case, and maybe this video will become redundant the minute after it's posted or the minute after it's recorded. If you're wondering, it's 2 a.m. right now as of recording. So I am literally recording this as like of reset. I did my dailies. Like, I literally just did dailies, and I was like, okay, let's get it. Right. And I wanted to just talk about that though, because like, we are still in the dark, right? And we're in the dark, and possibly the worst thing has happened, which is the new character was not enough, right? So here's like the thing about mobile games as well. Let's talk about conceptual things right now. In a mobile game, the most important thing is that the new character functions as content. As we've said many times, and we're not going to pile on to this point over and over and over, Bambi is not a bad character. Bambi literally doesn't function. No one has any idea whether this character is bad or not. If you have someone say that they know exactly how strong this character is, they're wrong. They have no idea how strong this character is because she doesn't function. And without her functioning first, we can't actually properly engage with what the character does. Now, I know some people could be like, well, if the character doesn't function, that means they're bad. But I would say that, like, we could start talking about characters in a vacuum, kits in a vacuum, right? I made a video about it recently saying, I think White Ichigo might literally be, alongside Mayuri, the strongest character in the game. White Ichigo appeals to one team, though. But in a vacuum, this character's mechanical ability, his ability to swing into his actual rotations and then support the full DPS is exactly what DPSs want right now, right? This is the same argument I had when Soifon released, and she could only use Yoruichi, and people were like, well, that's just Yoruichi being strong. Soifon is terrible. And it's like, no, you don't understand anything if you think that this character is weak. This character didn't need buffs, this character's not weak, blah, blah. This character was just waiting on Grimjo, right? But mechanically, you could look at this character, you could eyeball this character, and be like, okay, this is a strong character even without Grimjo. We just know she is. The thing that was the strongest probably in the game at the time was providing counterattacks. I'd say counterattack rotations were pretty much what the game worked around. You had Neliel, you had Soifon, you had Aizen, right? Aizen was the worst at this without B4. Neliel then became the second best at this, and then we had Soifon as the best at this, right? We eventually moved on to White Ichigo, who is the perfected version of this, because not only is he doing counter hits better than a lot of characters, tactics characters, but he does 1 billion fucking damage even at B0. He's just a damaging character. Like, it just is what he does, right? So as we move back to Bambietta, without, like, when I look at her kit, I don't see a weak character. I don't see a character that needs a bunch of changes. But when I look at the finesse category, this typing, I see a character who is completely hamstringed by not having this support, right? So all that is to say, when this doesn't work, the content feels worse. Because you know what I would be making if this character functioned? Oh, let's take Bambietta into Frenzy Feast, check her out. I mean, look at Frenzy Feast right now, right? There's not even a finesse typing here, right? Like, there's nothing for this character to do, right? Again, Las Noches Showdown is gone too. We don't have a tower for her. We don't have essentially anything for this character to do. Her team is dog shit, so why would you take her into these? I would love to do her one of these. Like, all of the things we have as permanent, I think one of the most returned to videos I think I put out was doing this Deadlock one. You know what the second, or maybe the most successful version of this period was for this channel? It was doing this. You know, I've never even gone back to this to get the points, which, by the way, the points would be easy to get for me because I'm not using any of this stuff, right? So this is at 140,000. None of this stuff makes Komamura harder to kill. So it would be pretty easy to do this. But I wanted to talk about this because the most successful videos essentially were me trying to help people who could not break through the fact that Bambietta just does not function as a character. There is no excitement to go try out her rotations because the rotations feel bad. There's no excitement to try to science out the rotations because the rotations feel bad, right? We're all sort of just making tutorialized content because there's nothing else really to talk about with the character other than here's how she's like, you know, when you have like an emulator or something and you're trying to play Shadow of the Colossus or something, and like, you know, the emulator just will not give, and you just spend all your time on like a channel with 200 subscribers that has a video that has 70,000 views, and the video is like how to get Shadow of the Colossus to function on this damn machine. That's essentially Bambietta's release schedule right now. There's nothing to talk about her in regards to like the average player other than, wow, this character does not work. And I think that sort of has hamstringed like not hamstring. I think that has sort of revealed that there's just not enough follow-up to the release of Bambietta. And I still have in mind, by the way, whether Yuryu is thrust or slash or spirit or finesse, it is what it is, man. That's been another thing that people have just been getting really dogmatic about, is like, oh no, it has to be this, it has to be that. You know, thrust needs this, slash needs that. It doesn't really matter. I'm not gonna lie. It matters the most that finesse is supported before they move on. But ultimately, the teams will be the team. So whatever we end up getting, like, it is what it is, man. Like, you know, we got to move on. But to see a character just not work in this way, to see her just like literally not function, is kind of astounding. It really is. It really is astounding that this character literally does not function, and it drags the patch down because this Bambi character, if they had released Kenpachi in this spot, like the like as he is, like we could take Kenpachi through all of the permanent content easy, right? But this is the problem of delaying. Maybe they had Giselle in mind. Maybe they had another Bambi in mind. Maybe they have Yuryu in mind as the finesse tactic. Maybe they have this or that. Maybe. It's like, yeah, I guess, but like, without any of those things materializing, we have seen this decay, right? So hopefully, either as of seeing this video or the day after seeing this video, we get some kind of confirmation of what's to come, because I mean, we're gonna get our new content suite soon. Like, we're going in there and in one day, where is it? One day here, one day until this unlocks. Like, we're going in there and we're gonna need something on the table really soon. Something on the table is gonna have to come really soon. All right, so yeah, just weird times. No news, no plans, huh? No news, no plans. I've been Lone. Like, if it's the video, subscribe to the club, you're gonna make it in. Peace.